I just had a few moments. Just got out of the shower. I got to comb my hair and then got some stuff to do, but I can't get to it for about an hour. So I thought, well, why not? Uh, so did your daddy teach you? So Grandpa Gory only taught you? That's not. Yeah. So what I was gonna say is, so Grandpa Gordy basically all you remember birdhouses and binoculars, and that ended up you almost turned into Jared from Subway, apparently, and and then he taught you nothing good happens after dark, and what crap rolls downhill. He always thought, well, remember that cool kid. His mom's a 5-star general in the Air Force, Minnesota Air Force, and you shoot trap with him or skeet over there at the Metro Gun Club in Blaine, Minnesota, USA. You're like, yeah. Well, if that old accounting thing doesn't work out, Nicky boy, don't forget you got that bum knee there because you're a dolly, and yeah, you're never gonna play in the NHL. So, oh wait, they didn't tell me that. I'll tell that to my kid. And crap rolls downhill. So hey, it don't take a whole lot to know to be a plumber, Nicky boy. If you can't never figure out that algebra and do a little accounting, son, there's always crap rolls downhill, boy. I'm thinking, thanks, Grandpa. And I'm thinking, that's about it. And turn them lights off, son. It's coming out of your allowance. I'm gonna do my rounds 3, 4 times a night. And if I catch that light on, boy, we're gonna be having a talk in the morning. And yeah, so you said, well, did your daddy teach you anything? Hmm. I didn't spend a whole lot of time. Remember, there was that thing about the Navy destroyer ship. It's not about how fast that ship gets in there. Hmm. But he's like old Nicky boy, when that old Navy destroyer shows up. It took him a while to get there, boy, but you're gonna know it's there. Yeah. Huh, and you're like, what? You're like, yep. They bring them in to finish off the job, you see. And yeah, once you see that Navy destroyer, it's a little it's probably too late to for reconciliation. And so you're like, well, did it, so it's like how it's not how fast that ship got there, son. It's how long as long as it gets there and it stays in port. That's about it. He tried to show me a few things with my golf swing, but if you can't figure out why I'm having a trouble talking to my daddy when I explained in that one video about the last time I was there, and the sheriffs, when the sheriffs come out and take the other one, it's for a reason because they got those secret cameras and stuff, and they like to listen in, and so they know they know who they're taking, right? And so, and you're like, okay. They're like, yeah. So, Dad, don't ever ask me if I can be normal. And not only do not ask me if I can be normal, but do not ever think that I would work in Hollyweird. I know I'm a half a weirdo because I like to write love letters to complete strangers, but you know, other than that, I'm not in the market for a duck call anymore. So hey, at least I'm not Big Don thinking, hey, I'm gonna be president in 4 years from the retirement home, and I'm thinking, Big Don, come on, buddy, like Big Don. You mean the guy that donated millions of dollars to What's her name? He likes to call her now Hitlery. Oh yeah, you mean Big Don was a Democrat? Well, that means he smartened up. Why was he? So he gave millions of dollars to Hillary Clinton. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I'm thinking, Big Don, if you think you're going to be president in 4 years, we need to start thinking about what kind of medication you need to be on. Little maybe Depakote, lithium. I mean, we got lots of different stuff we can try. I'm just saying. And then that Joshua Van, he's next. No, I'm just joking. So did Daddy teach you any? I mean, he taught me a little bit, a few pointers on the golf course. He introduced me to Budweiser. He always, he like he says, hey, at these Trump rallies, you don't see any cigarette butts at the Trump rallies, son. Those are gross. Uh, mm. Oh, he thinks Katy Perry's honks ain't bad looking, and I'm like, Daddy, but she's married. Remember that? Remember how they taught us that when we were. Remember back when the priest he made you drink the wine. Remember how good they made us behave and all that. Remember that? We ain't supposed to talk about that, Daddy, because we're professionals. And she's married. She's off the market. There's no point to talk about for sure a married woman. So no, not a whole lot with Daddy. Like I said, if you go over to Grandpa Gordy's, you'll see a picture of Well, he used to have a picture of Barack Obama, and I used to sit on his lap. We used to make birdhouses, and I sit on his lap. But that's where I got the binoculars. It wasn't with Brandon Bellamy, trolling elementary schools. Nope, just a people watcher. Kind of like, oh, where'd you learn? Oh, you mean like the Minnesota State Fair? Like everybody, like 10 million people get together and stare at each other for 12 days? Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, that kind of ruined it when Daddy asked me if I could be normal. Even though he could, potentially, like I said, your daddy, he's the king. And yeah, as we can see, even the guys that think they're still going to be president in 4 years, they can still be king too. And you're like, you really think you should be talking about it? Well, whatever I was doing wasn't working, so we're just trying a little something new here. You know what they say about insanity, right? You keep doing the same thing over and over, you get the same result. But yeah. So how's my hair look? Bad boy likes to make fun of me. I mean, that look. I ain't like a good housewife where, if you say, honey, you want to go get them Chrysler, sweetheart, out of the garage and go drive them up and down up and down Broadway there, huh? And she's like, well, give me an hour. I got to do my makeup. And we're like, oh, okay. And Bad Boy's like, is your hair out of place? And I'm thinking, I don't think it looked pretty good today. My hair, I think it looks all right. I mean, it only took me about, once I finally got started, got to combing it, it only took me a minute. Yeah, I mean, I put up with the 4 years of listening to my entire family except for Father Mark, the priest. No, no, he's not a priest. Attack Trump, and even Daddy went to say, "You said why you talk?" Because I just can't. But I watched the CPAP of just a few minutes until Junior Mintz and Guilfoyle came out with the Tourette's, and I had to turn it off. And Big Don thinks he's gonna be president. Like there's no, like now I'm starting to wonder like what they've been telling me for 4 years. You know, I'm thinking. You seen what they did to Joe Walsh, didn't you? Well, I ain't trying to be Joe Walsh, and I sent the devil back down to Georgia already. So, but we ain't trying to do that. We're just trying to be real, serve God, love people, be not be as respectful, polite, and it can be a simple thing like giving somebody a smile that is in a bad mood or something as easy as that. But I've kind of had enough, and so now I'm talking a little bit. So hopefully, I don't know what it'll do, but it sure feels good to get it out. Yeah, I wonder what they're covering up. Oh, boy, no wonder. No wonder they need goats. Yeah. But anyways, so yeah, I just every time I see that, it reminds me of Leslie Oren, which is interesting. That's a Jewish name, and she gave me that evil eye back in the day. Interesting. Irene Oren. Anybody ever heard of her from Minnesota? Irene Oren. I had another one. The peanut butter lady was named Irene. That's a pretty name. Now, you say you're kind of old fashioned, huh, Nicky boy? That'd be a nice girl's name, Irene or Helen or something like that. I'd be like, yeah, mommy, that sounds good. You're not really trying to take on Junior. No, I can't do that. Anybody that can act like that just because they got the money, I mean, you can't. They're above the law. But you at least you got to be honest, man. Like, come on, guys. Let's stop wasting our time here. Let's get our resources focused in the right direction here, like Amarillo Slim is saying. Hey, come on, let's at least get pointed in the right direction, eh? Hey, stop it. I'm not anywhere near your food. Don't worry, I'm not. I know you want me to. I know all the girls out there want me to take my clothes off, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm just tucking my shirt in. I think Bad Boy's just jealous of my hair. That's one thing nice Daddy did give me. He gave me a nice thick head of hair. Thanks, Daddy. Okay, we got a little work to do. So yeah, I will try to get more organized and focused so I can blend into the YouTube community So where it's more presentable, more edited, hopefully pretty shortly, as soon as we realize that polar bear found something else to eat, stuff like that. And then, yeah. And don't forget, folks, there's nothing new under the sun. It's just, in a lot of cases, the devils, they, unfortunately, I've even heard that the NSA is so creepy that if they went after everybody that was illegally being a weirdo, they'd have to shut the whole thing down. It's too big to fail. And so I think a lot of times we've got devils operating in secret. Not all, I'm not saying, or a lot. There's a few. There's some for sure. All you gotta do is go back to statistics, actuary, and it goes back to Nancy's goat. Not her goat, but they're masters in disguise. They're in secret, and they control the secret cameras and the secret microphones, and they know how to avoid detection. And they're doing the same things, probably even worse, covering up probably the worst stuff in humanity, and then they go after other people and for their scapegoat. And I think what we've seen in society is probably the tide has turned. And I'm by no means obviously innocent, but hey, you can see the video of me in my natural habitat. You can make your own decision. That's me 99.9% of the time for the last 40 years. And so, but I really enjoy accountancy. I would do accountancy for room and board. It's just interesting. It's like a big puzzle to me, and I liked watching Wheel of Fortune with my grandpa Harold in Grantsburg, Wisconsin. That we would watch Wheel of Fortune and do puzzles. And I used to eat so much sausage, pork, salami, it used to come out my ears. I just gave it up after. Oh, I had that. I was constipated. I had a CAT scan at Unity Hospital because John Victor Shima the third over there on Third Lake works down there, and he got those are like $25,000. Yeah, never again's like, hey, can a few of us other people get those instead of y'all just riding around with the goat up there? And I'm like, yeah, it's probably a good idea. Never again. I'm down with that. Let's work on these obscene profit margins and try to help some more people. Yeah, for sure. I'm like, hey, Matt Damon, let's get clean water to people. That's pretty cool. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, Leonardo DiCaprio, what do you got in your pockets, dude? Oh, man. So I really enjoy it. Since I don't care what the Republicans want to say. We're ultimately, unless you want to Georgia Guidestone them with Bill Gates and you want to hide in plain sight. I mean, have you watched an interview with Bill Gates? That guy's kind of scary, actually. And I chatted on IRC with him for years, and that's, I guess, which it's really strange because some of these people don't have any problem with. How can I be politically correct without saying the word homosexuality? What word can I use that won't offend you so that I can at least explain my point of view? I'm willing to do that. I don't care. It used to be that, if you went over to Europe and you asked for a cigarette, it was the three-letter word. Yeah, we don't do that. I understand that's flagrant. It's mean. It's rude. What can I say? I know you can't do the first four letters of homosexual. That's not allowed. So unless you want to Georgia Guidestone them, which I'm over here in the New Testament. Remember, Moses invests, Jesus saves. Remember that? Moses invests. I'm pretty sure that polar bear over there has a vest or two. So you want to talk a little politics? Okay, I'll talk some basic common sense. And my accounting professor is going to be like, "Are we into another dilemma here?" No, we're just saying like this is like why aren't people talking about this? You want to solve the problem, and you don't want to start knocking people off in the FEMA camps and the goon hit squads with Kenny the Trucker and Secret Doctrine and Billy Bob Soda Pop 777 and Ghosty and all them weirdos. I'm wondering if they're on some of those guys are on Big Don's detail or something. And so you're like, well, ultimately we're going to have to start going towards socialism, no question about it. Capitalism has been the greatest thing. That's what made this country great. But we got a lot of people now, and that's why they're starting to burn them buildings down. And remember, they really pissed off about dragging them over here on the boats, and they got the boom boom too, and that's why people like Bobby Tushnut are dead. Yeah, that's let's be honest, because you go down running your mouth down in that they own that now. Well, Bob Walters isn't alive anymore. Okay, so if you go down in that area, they might pull your card, like the boys in the hood say. So you better be respectful, especially if you're doing their drugs. Just saying. And so you say, well, what do we do? How do you balance that? How do you balance capital? Yeah, we're gonna. Then now you're talking to Kushner and them, but he's looking for that red heifer, I think, and he's talking about dividing East Jerusalem. And you got that guy laying on my back step there, that Islamist. And it could be just because Shannon wants to see me in handcuffs again. I don't know, but there's another guy in the cop in the back he's one of them too. And I grew up there, and I just asking you to move out of the way if you people can't see that I have a reasonable grievance. This continues to happen, and if you take all the evidence objectively, and you're fair and honest, I don't deserve all this and all the crap they've made up about me, all because, no, I'm not Jared from Subway. I'm just a guy that sat on his grandpa's knee and looked out the window in Anoka, Minnesota with Grandma Lois, and we made birdhouses and looked through binoculars at the birds. And I don't own any goats. I like ladies. I do. So what do you do? I don't know. It's complicated. Because Big Don and his boys don't seem to want to budge, and Never Again's trying, but most of them behind her they're not willing to budge, and they're starting to burn the buildings down. And So I don't know. I got some ideas. I can't get into it now, but I mean, but if you think I'm gonna bend over and grab the ankles or jump in the 6 foot hole for you, that's never happening. And I'm never selling Oscar Mayer wieners down in St. Paul at the hot dog stand. Never again. Look, again, I tried to live a quiet life and work with my hands, and they just kept going. The silence kills. They just kept pushing forward, looking for their goat. So here we are. We just tell people who we are, what we're about, and we opened up our Mikasa Sukasa. We'll let the world decide what kind of guy I am. If I'm worthy of Bill Gates and his Georgia Guidestones, and I'm pretty sure he's all right with homosexuality too. Even though he apparently he's been married, but he does like. I heard Bill Gates really likes to go over to India. He's got a lot of charities over there. I'm just saying. And he's nowhere as cool as Poindexter from Revenge of the Nerds. Nah, that's like Pete and Amberitis. Now you're talking Pete up there in Ashcroft or whatever. Yeah, he's more like Poindexter. Bill Gates, he's more like Kessler. Okay? Even though Pete liked me, but I got Amberitis on him, and that's his gal, and well, it had been his gal, but Pete liked me. What was Pete? Pete Peterson? Was it Pete? Was he a Peterson too? His dad came down to the Maranatha house on the University of Minnesota where we would go to church with Bruce, big bad Bruce, and all his. Yeah, he had about 6 or 7 of them Amberitises running around there. He might be gone by now. He was getting pretty old. He probably goes to church there. Pete, what's that town up there? Starts with an A in northern Wisconsin. Pete was from, and Parnell, and yeah, Parnell. Hey, if Parnell can get through the University of Minnesota, I'm just saying, buddy. I think I can figure out this balance sheet. I'm just kidding. So you say, well, that's nice. Yeah. So I got a tough time though. If you give me a book, though, I've always been that way. Like here's a book about that thick. It would normally take your average person about a month to read. Go look in there for several hours and find this. And I'm like, can I just memorize something? Anyways, yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do. How you gonna stop? We got to start to get. It hasn't worked ever. This divide, and it's only got more polarized. And yeah, I don't like it because I want to live here for the next 50 years if Jesus doesn't come out of that sky on a white horse flaming with fire to gather up the saints, put the devil in purgatory for 1,000 years or something like that. Preacher woman's gonna have to take over again, but yeah. Yeah, but getting a CAT scan, never again's like, hey, can we get a few of those? And they're like, no, we're all polar bears and we got obscene profit margins and we don't care about the way drag those people over on with the boom boom now. And they're like, well, yeah, you figure you got a few of them towns left, but now you see how they're starting to get into Dearborn, Michigan, and all the major cities, and they keep spreading. And you've been trying to hold them off, and now they're starting to maraud the countryside. And if them polar bears all driving them trucks, if those guys can't get their gas at a decent price, oh, you mean like taking us off the petrodollar, like the Japanese and the Chinese been working on for about 50 years, and they're almost there? Yeah, that. And oh, you mean like them Saudis and all that really hate us now and they don't even want nothing to do with us and everybody hates the United States pretty much and Big Don says all our roads and bridges are crumbling. And if you go over there, they got all these real nice bullet trains and all this beautiful cities, big beautiful. Hey, if it wasn't my daughter, hey, Big Don. Yeah, you're not the only one, but you're the first one that said it out loud, huh? Thanks, Big Don. You're not going to be president in 4 years. I'm just saying. Okay, so what do you want to do? Okay, is there something in the middle here where we can kind of keep an incentive for people to work and we don't have to turn into Venezuela in 20 years? Is there something we can do to without giving free college to everybody? And then what's the reason to become doctor, lawyer, accountant? If you're not going to be able to drive a BMW sometime because you worked a little harder, you went into debt. Okay, you got lucky because you knew somebody maybe that got you into the school, or your parents could borrow money, or but that's what affirmative action's about. But putting every white person under a bench, that ain't working either. That's why you see old Billy Bob 777 and his five friends. Isn't that silly? Did you guys watch that? It felt like it was like were they refilming the landing of the moon with Buzz Aldrin or something? He's like, "Excuse me, guy." There's like 50,000 people banging on the windows outside, but there's like 10 people on the Senate floor, and they're like, "He's like, excuse me, could you please take your feet off the furniture? And are you guys done yet? Could Barney Fife, could we exit this area and kind of stay away from here, guys?" And there's like one guy walking around with them zip ties, and I'm thinking, is this another false flag or what? I mean, what's going on here? So, and until people like Big Don can be honest and listen to both sides of the story too, without see Big Don now he's gonna want to just say, oh, look at this loser, and he's gonna take his marbles and go home because you know, if you won't blindly follow him like in a cult. If you can't, look, you want to talk about a warning, right? If you can't criticize, I mean, do we have a king? If you can't criticize your leaders, I'm pretty sure that's what the Constitution was about, a well-regulated militia, right? Oh, but no, we don't need that. But all the people protecting the lawmakers, they run around in their gated communities and they all got them AR-15s they want to take from you. You and him and Beto O'Rourke. Yeah. So you're not fooling me. And apparently they got most of the country housed on this blue pill, red pill. And you see what they did to Breitbart. I don't really know the guy, but apparently he didn't deserve that. I don't know what he did in this person. I'm pretty sure he wasn't riding around with goats either. Like if you're not riding around with goats and super duper models, I'm pretty sure you're probably pretty decent. But if you're riding around with goats and a supermodel, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not going to be your friend. Safe bet. But anyways, just some basics. But why won't they talk about it? So what you need to do is you really need to get some big smart guys like Kushner on the horn. But see, Why do they think they're going to divide Jerusalem? They must be doing it on purpose. I guess they want the Messiah to. I mean, I don't know. This doesn't make sense. The only thing that makes sense is this Bible, and evil is real, and you better be ready at any moment for them to pull your card, or for God to put your snuffer out, because hey, look at all the crazy stuff going on. I mean, this even here in Forest Lake, small little town, I hear the sirens all the time. I don't know where they're going or what they're doing, but something's going on. And I'm thinking, what could be possible in a small, other than what could be going on that they got to have all them cops running around with them sirens all the time? What, in the middle of the day? What's going on here? Are you worried about me? No. That polar bear seems to be kind of obsessed with me, though. Want to talk about obsessed? Following me. Want to talk about following somebody? And it's weird because I don't know what happened. Well, he turned on me, though. I thought maybe he was all right. I didn't sense anything hostile when he asked me if I wanted to use his air compressor. And then he come over talking to me about electricity and my power outlets. And I was about ready to give him a hug. I'm like, come here, polar bear. Give me a big old hug, buddy. And then all of a sudden, I do exactly what he asks me to do. And 9 months later, he's still over there staring at me like he wants to eat me. What's going on here, folks? I mean, I don't have to have an accounting degree to figure out something don't smell right here. And I haven't done anything really, except I comb my hair really, really not. Maybe he's jealous about my hair or something. I don't know. So I don't mean to be rude, but I'm a little fired up, ready to go because I'm humble. I'm very thankful. Like I said, I didn't forget that something very fortunate. In fact, I'll even go and tell you. I think one of the very luckiest things ever. I mean, I went from looking like I was going to the. I was having I was struggles, frustrated, and God, like Moses parted the Red Sea, and it was like Jesus on the road to Damascus, and I just happened to, and I did it myself. Nobody. I mean, I came up with the idea that I thought for sure is not going to work, and yet so I get to live another day and study my accountant and wake up each day and maybe offer a few thoughts because I'm just one guy, an old guy, old enough to be a grandpa, in a country that I'm saying, hey, let's try to salvage because the direction we're going. And I'm not interested in civil war, and I'm not interested in hurting other Christians, and I'm not interested in taking up arms. Unless you try to take my Bible, as long as the Bible says, as long as you let me worship God, like you want me to. If Big Don really thinks that, I don't think he's that crazy. If there's something else, there has to be, right? He has to be. If he really thinks he's going to be president, that makes me nervous, really nervous. I'm going to be honest. So I don't believe that. I'm not sure. It's way, way above. I don't know what they're doing or what they're. That if you think I'm going to take up arms if he thinks he's going to be president of the United States and for the United, now maybe the Confederate down south, he might be able to take over that again. But if he thinks he's going to be the president of the United States, yeah, we Houston, we got a problem. And I'm saying, well, let's talk about it right now. Let's talk about it right now. Don't let these people think. Get your support. You want to run a viable candidate against. I don't think it's going to be Biden. I think he's probably going to let Kamala. He's getting pretty up. I never know. Maybe he might. I think he's pretty tired. Probably want to spend time with that pretty teacher woman he's married to in his family. And he got him in there, and I think Kamala is probably next, right? So, but be real. You're gonna put Big Don up against. Remember? Hey Don, you promise? You Don, don't joke around with us, Big Don. You promise you'll do that? We want this in writing. You pinky promise? You swear to God? If you want me to believe that baloney, get me donuts then. Just make it quick. Because I ain't buying into that baloney after what I've been through. And I ain't being quiet no more either. I don't care what you think you got on me. I know that most people are far worse than me. Okay. A lot of people. I know there's a lot of good, great people out there. And I would suggest you don't ever open your mouth if you don't have to, unless it's the absolute last resort. If you don't want that Breitbart heart attack and whatever they gave me on my neck there, and you don't want them to hurt your doggy. See, they didn't count on me being of sound mind right now. They counted me on being their goat. And I didn't say I'm that smart, but I'm here, and I got a decent night's sleep for a long time. I can get by on 4 hours today. And I ain't never being your goat. I'm the dog, man, the dog. All bets are off when you go to the animals. Yeah. You might as well be like the Baphomet with the go Google it. Sick. You got two mesmerized two little kids. Oh, there's that word little, you weirdo. No, go Google it. Baphomet Satanism. And they're like, I don't know how old they are. What are they, 6, 5, 6, 7? And they're staring up at there's one girl, one boy, and they're staring up at the goat with the horns. What in the world is that stuff? If God can't save me, then there ain't no man that's gonna help. And I've done everything I can to put my eternal salvation and safety in Jesus Christ. Hashem, hey, can that be my backup? Can I say, hey, look, if I'm wrong, chain smoking rabbis, if I'm wrong, or you got some secret evidence that proves that it was just Jesus running around, there was a whole bunch of them, and he had mental illness, and the Romans that weren't even Christians came along and thought, we're not going to let this crisis go to waste either. We're going to create a whole new religion and control people and then there's going to be a thing called Catholicism. There's going to be 2 billion of them, and by the way, there's going to be Nambula in the Vatican City, and there's going to be what? Gay, lesbian priests in the Catholic Church, so it's not even Christian anymore. And what else? So you want me to believe? Okay, if you got the proof, I'd like to see it. And then I'm saying, all right, I'm an Orthodox Jew. Yeah, for sure. Remember the white supremacist swastikas Big Don likes? I'm saying, yeah, because Jesus was a Jew. Christianity came from Judaism. These white supremacists supposedly worship a Jew on a stick. And I'm saying, yeah, all right, God, if I get to heaven and they were wrong, I thought it sounded as a practical, rational guy. I thought, hey, this is a good deal. I get to live forever. I get a new glorified body. I get to go back in my 20s and play basketball or something all day and do 1,000 sit-ups and be healthy and good looking for the rest of my life and worship God for eternity or something like that up in heaven and not go down in there whatever they're doing down there. I'll take that deal. All I got to do is say, hey, I believe in your son that you sent, and you're an equal opportunity God. And you don't have to be a PhD like the pervert seventh beggar. And his buddy Servetus. No? Okay, well, if that's wrong, God, then I'm sorry, I was wrong, and can I default back to the Israelites and worship you that way? Then I'll go ahead and I guess I'm back I'm investing now. But other than that, hey, I've done everything I can to clean up my life as good as I can. At least I'm not that guy. And I'll do anything to avoid that. And putting my faith in Christ, I don't know what else I could do. The rest is literally up to God. I've left it all I got up on the court. I shot a couple free throws. I don't know what else. I'm satisfied that if all these Christians on the internet say that they're taking these Christians to these FEMA camps, these secret doctrines, and these Preacher Billy Bob 7, and they're with Bill Gates and these Guidestones depopulation, and they got these hit squads going around with depopulation, and what they're doing, they're in secret, so they got all the cameras and the mics, and as soon as they got you on a phony, they got the secret FISA courts, and you're executed. That's what they're saying on the internet. I'm not saying that, but I'm like, well, where did all the Christians go on Pal Talk? I don't know. What happened to all the ones on? I'm not saying any. I'm just reporting. You decide. Read Revelation. Looks like we're in the end times. And when they started getting to my dog, I'm thinking if that ain't the devil, I don't know what is. And I do not want to find out. And I'm willing to try anything to avoid it. Anything. Except jump in the 6-foot hole for you and bend over and grab the ankles. I'm not, and I'm not taking this either. I'm just not taking it. So you do what you got to do. I've done what I need to do, and I just want to study accounting, find half the kingdom, get her in a dress that bounces off the floor, talk her into them sticks and some string, and have her sit next to me while we're fishing for about 12 hours straight. Sounds like a plan to me. Hey, what more could a guy want? But anyways, yeah, I gotta go get some work done. So y'all take care. God bless. God bless the United States of America, and God bless all. Hey, all our Christian brothers and sisters around the world being persecuted, our Jewish brothers and sisters. Hey, I stand with Israel, not the division of East Jerusalem. However, Uh, God willing, I'll be back to say check in this evening, I guess maybe. So uh, that's what's on my mind today. When can I get my triple dose? When do I get the triple crown of that thing so I can live? I choose life and not death. I'd like. When are they gonna start getting that vaccine out? Hmm? Can you put a little extra special something that'll go through my bloodstream and finish off this because it's almost there. It's just a little. I don't. Maybe it's just it was such a wooden nickel. It just takes. I mean, it's healed. It's just gonna take some more. It's gonna take some time to really, really loosen that skin up. I don't know. And it's healed. It's just a tiny. I guess, like I said, all that 6 months. That's something that should have been fixed in 6 days, no more than 6 weeks. The irritation of the skin, I suppose, just over time you get. It's like taking like a rubbing eraser and rubbing your thigh, or taking a cigarette butt or something, taking a cigarette to your thigh or something and burning your thigh, and or it just irritated, I guess. But anyways, um, yeah. So if nobody's told you they love you today, I love you. Jesus loves you. God loves you. And God wishes that all should be saved and come to repentance. And you can ask Him today too. If you're in hopeless state, and there's thousands and hundreds of people suffering. They don't know where their next meal's coming from. They don't got clean water. If you're around the world, and somehow, because they could shut this in or not. They really could. With the EMP, it could all go dark, especially in the United States with our electrical grid system. You never know. So put your faith in Jesus Christ and ask Him to help. It's that simple. It might eat at your pride a little bit, but hey, there's a God of the universe. He made it fair. Whether you're the polar bear, you're the scientist, or you're just little old Nicky boy. I'll see you later.